Welcome to another episode of the Loafing Around Podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things Pokemon, and each week I am joined by a new and unique guest, be it a YouTuber, streamer, announcer, VGC player, and so on, to hang out with them and ask them some questions about their passions, opinions, and experiences with the Pokemon franchise. I am your host, Espy, a longtime Pokemon fan and a Pokemon content creator. Today, I am joined by a Pokemon YouTuber that specializes in the Pokemon games and is relatively new to the Pokemon scene. So you all are really going to be getting in on the ground floor with this guy. He has lots of cool opinions, and I can't wait to introduce you all to him. And we're back. Welcome to the show for the first time, LumiosePost. Thank you so much for coming on. How are you doing?
I am doing great, man. I'm super excited to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited that you were able to make it onto the show, that you had the time to come and join, because I really like your channel and I see the growth that's happening. I know you're going to go far, so I wanted to get in quick before you started appearing on all the other podcasts and YouTube channels.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so like I've already said, LumiosePost is super new to the scene. I was actually in your first 150 followers, which feels pretty awesome to say because of the growth that you've had. Why don't you tell us a bit about your channel, my man, and where it's come in the past few months?
Okay, well, my channel, I started in March, right after the Scarlet and Violet thing came out, the first reveal trailer. I thought to myself, I need to ride this hype wave, and so I grabbed my surfboard and I ran out there and rode it. And we talk about all things Pokemon on my channel. We've done things from analyzing the games and talking about what was wrong with them to just leak videos, because we do have a leaker on the scene of the Pokemon video games, and just all kinds of other videos, mainly related to the games. But I do try to touch on anime and TCG and other aspects of the franchise in those videos.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that you really hone in on the games there, and like your coverage of the leaks and your coverage of theories and things like that has been really good, because you've grown in like 3 months. You've gotten almost 600 subscribers, right?
Yes, we're currently at 568 and we're still growing. Like I said, I started March 2nd. So yeah, it's been about 4 months now, but yeah.
That's super awesome. Do you have like a video that you thought like, this is the path that I want my channel to take? I kind of felt like you kind of got a bit more into the leaks there and started really kind of honing in on that once Riddler Coup started making more of his posts and getting some more notoriety.
Yeah, I definitely love the leak side of things. Riddler Coup has a private account. That's, of course, our big Pokemon leaker. And so I feel like there's definitely a market needed there for someone to share it with people who don't have Twitter, because that is where he operates from, as well as just people who haven't been approved to follow him, or I know he blocks people pretty often. So I wanted a platform where I could share those things. I try to keep it purely legitimate leaks, but of course that's a very hard road to navigate, because you kind of don't know something's legitimate until you get it confirmed by like an official source. But I think the number one thing I love doing from my channel was the videos I've most enjoyed was my trailer analysis videos. I did my first one on the Scarlet and Violet trailer that revealed the games and the starter Pokemon, and then I did one on the most recent one that revealed Palmy and Smoliv and Lechonk and the legendaries, and I'm looking forward to doing it with all the future ones as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I see at least that you're pretty active in that community as far as the Pokemon leaks and the Pokemon trailers and things like that go. I see that you're very active. I see you commenting on Riddler Coup's post. It seems that you're pretty close with like people like Soul Silver, people like Ruffled Rowlet, Dusty Go-Go. Would you say that you're pretty good friends with those people in the community?
Yes, definitely. They're great people who just reached out to me, and they're much like yourself even, and I've been incredibly blessed with. That's probably been the biggest shock, but obviously a good shock, a really nice surprise from this was that just the amount of people who have a much larger channel, or in Soul Silver Art's case, fan base, because he's only on Twitter, and they just still kind of reach out to these smaller people. I mean, because like you said, you found me at 150 subscribers. Dusty Go-Goat found me sometime there as well. Soul Silver Art, him and I actually chatted a little bit before I even started making videos. But Ruffled Rowlet reached out to me when I had 300 something. And that's just been so just shocking and overwhelming, the love from bigger channels. And I think that's what keeps the community alive. And it's really inspired me to, especially as I grow, make sure I'm doing the same, giving back to the community the way it's given to me.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it seems like, Ruffled and Go-Goat and those people, it seems like, and that's, like you said, that's what's needed to make the community grow. So it's very, very good that they are prioritizing that and trying to reach out to people and make sure that they are helping newer YouTubers grow, because it's really tough in the industry if you don't know how it works and what makes a good thumbnail, what makes a good video, what makes a good background even in the video, when to bring in pictures, when to not, so advice from people like that. Because I mean, Ruffled's pretty big from what I know. I mean, he's over 100,000, correct?
I believe he's at 170,000 now.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I was like, he's a pretty good sized channel. I enjoy his content. I've never actually spoken with him, but he's got really good content, and it's very cool that he was able to reach out to you. And I mean, like you said, that's how people grow. That's how the community grows, and kind of fostering those communication lines. So it's very cool of them to reach out. I didn't know that you spoke with Soul Silver a lot before you started your channel. He's always just seemed kind of like, I've seen him appear on podcasts, and it's just kind of, he's almost like a mythical creature, almost like Riddler Coup. I'm like, he's that guy.
The Zoroark mask is what does it, in this profile picture.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That does help. Yeah, I saw he changed that whenever they, like last week, they announced that they were doing the shiny Hisuian Zoroark mask, and I saw he changed it like the same day. That got me really good when I saw that.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He honestly, I believe it's him who kind of got me in touch with Ruffled, because I know he often has conversations with bigger channels like Ruffled and even A Drive, who's coming up on 1 million subscribers now. So, and Soul has a pretty large base himself. I believe he's just hit 11,000 followers on Twitter, and he doesn't do YouTube or anything, so that's definitely impressive.
Yeah, he definitely makes the rounds on Twitter. I mean, you see him in that side of the community all the time. Like, even like you said, like A Drive's channel, on Ruffled's channel, things like that. I mean, you see his name come up so much. That's why I was saying, like, he's almost just a mythical creature. He's just, he's like, yeah, that's that guy. That's Soul Silver Art.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. And I think the reason I had reached out to him was because I had managed to get from someone else who had a conversation with Riddler Coup himself. He was able to get some information, and he shared it to me, and then kind of just became a ghost. And I saw there was this guy named Soul Silver Art who was running around doing all these theories and leaks on Twitter. And so I hit him up and I was like, hey man, I need to talk about this with someone, and you seem intelligent, so please help me out here. And of course, I actually revealed on Ruffled's podcast, it was that Riddler Coup revealed to this person in a private chat that the Pokemon in Legends Arceus were actually all hints to Generation 9, in the same way that Meltan and Melmetal introduced in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were hints to Generation 8.
Yeah, they seem to love to do that right at the end of a generation, kind of bring in one or two more Pokemon, or in the case of Legends Arceus, 9, that kind of hint as to what's coming. They really do a good job of that, and I know Loxton has made a video on that before, like, does the mythical of each generation foreshadow what's coming up? And it seems yes, and I think that...
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think it's very much true the same with, Legends Arceus. I think those Pokemon are hints to the time-traveling mechanic that we're going to be getting in Gen 9.
Absolutely. That, and just a lot of similarities to what we're seeing in Gen 9. Like, I mean, I won't go super into it because it's kind of leaks territory, but you can already see a lot of connections between just Pokemon we know will be coming in Scarlet and Violet and Pokemon that we got to see in Legends Arceus.
Definitely. And like you said there, it's kind of a tough line to walk with the leaks territory because you never know if people are comfortable with it or not. So I have
Yes.
that in my real life where I'm like, oh well, Riddler, and I'm like, don't say that, don't say that. You can't.
Yeah.
You don't know if this person wants to know what you know. Like you're on the, you know the secrets. You can't.
Yep.
Not everyone wants to know this.
Yeah. I have to kind of keep in my head that, like, for example, something that we already know about that he had revealed beforehand was he had revealed a pig Pokemon before we got Lechonk revealed. So when my wife and I did a discussion video on that trailer, I had to, like, before we clicked record, I was like, okay, so we know some stuff about this pig Pokemon. We can't say it in here. I try to keep my leaks videos very separate from my main ones so that I can issue a spoiler warning and not worry about someone stumbling upon something they don't, because I get that. I'm a big Marvel movie fan, and I absolutely hate when something from that gets spoiled for me. So I totally understand that, even though I love to see these games get leaked.
Yeah, it's definitely a very fine line, but I think that you definitely walk it well.
Thank you. I do my best. It's very nerve-wracking. I know what a trapeze artist feels like walking that rope. I mean, oh.
Yeah, definitely. I bet. I know that like a lot of the people that you've been discussing, that we've been discussing, they have to walk that as well, and like they have to. Their channel is known for that, and it's like, all right, this is going to appeal to some people, but it's not going to appeal to everyone. But you kind of stick to what you're interested in, and there's enough of the community that wants to know. It's very hard to stay completely pure of any information anymore for the entire game. I mean, it's so difficult with the internet.
It really is, because I mean, you have people who would just casually mention it in comments and stuff. Like, I've seen on my channel, like in a video that's not tailored to leaks, someone will post, well, but Riddler Coup said, and it's like, yeah, he did. Thanks for telling everybody that, but
yeah, definitely. It's not everyone wants to know. I mean, we get it that you don't think that, but there are definitely people who just don't want to know.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that would be my PSA to share on this podcast is, hey, not everyone wants to know leaks, be it movies, be it Pokemon, whatever. Make sure you know your audience, even if it's just a conversation between two people. Make sure you know they want to know before you share it.
Much like anything in life, get consent.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure that you
Yes.
make sure that the person is okay with you telling them these leaks, or I know something about Lechonk's evolution, or I know something about this evolution.
Right.
Just ask them, do you want to know a leak? No? Okay,
Yep.
then I'll shut up.
Yes.
Alrighty, so here's how the next segment is going to work. We're going to play a little game for you and the listeners. I'm going to ask 5 trivia questions about the Pokemon games, but I don't want you to answer them quite yet because I will give you and the audience the rest of the episode to think about these questions. Think you're ready?
Yep, bring it.
Alrighty, question 1. In the Pokemon games, there is almost always someone to teach you how to catch a Pokemon, even though it is super annoying and most of the time unnecessary.
Amen.
In one game, however, this capture tutor was also a champion. Which champion was this?
Okay, feeling good about that one.
Feel pretty good? Okay, there you go. Yeah, confidence. Question 2. In the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games, we are introduced to a new professor named Professor Birch. He is one of my favorite professors personally, but what is his research specialty?
Ooh, that's a nice one. I think I know that one. I think I do.
Think you got it? I thought that one might be a bit tough.
Yeah, I think I've got it.
I've done enough videos on the professors and their like specialties because I've done like a what if the professors were villains video, and I want to do what if the villains were professors and kind of do that, but that required a lot of study into that, so I wanted to bring it back.
For the record, Birch is a great choice for a favorite.
He just cracks me up. I just love like I love the shorts. I love the getting caught by the Zigzagoon. It's always funny.
I love in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire how they kind of reset that element of the plot. Every time you beat the league, he gets chased by something again so that he can give you like another pair of stars, like the Universe starters or something. And you see him get chased by just the randomest things, like a Machoke holding one of the moving boxes and just all kinds of stuff. It's crazy.
I know it's a fantastic bit. It's like in the Alola games, whenever you keep going to be champion, they kind of have more and more people show up, and eventually it's like, this is a preschooler.
Right.
Alrighty, question 3. In Generation 4, we were introduced to one of the most famous trainers in the Pokemon world, Champion Cynthia. She is incredibly powerful, we all know that, but what are the Pokemon she uses in the Pokemon Platinum Champion Battle?
Okay, definitely have that.
Oh, you got it. Got it on
Oh
lock.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm
definitely.
excited to get your answer later. Alrighty. So also in Generation 4, we meet another character that is universally hated by the Pokemon community. This trainer is named Mindy and is made famous due to an in-game trade in which she asks you to trade her something for a Medicham. Why is this trade so famous?
Oof, man. You get my blood boiling.
Yeah. We all hate her.
Biggest betrayal of my childhood.
I know. So this is a clean podcast, but there is a subreddit about this trainer named Mindy that you should look
A
into.
whole
But it does
subreddit
have
for her?
oh yeah, and it does have a swear word in it. It heads up to everyone, but it's a fantastic one, and that's all they do on that subreddit is just hate on this one trainer for what she did, and it's amazing.
I know what I'm doing after this podcast.
It's so good. Alrighty, so now it is time for the fifth question, which is a question that is tailored to the guest. So, given that your name is LumiosePost, we're going to focus on a question from Kalos.
Best region. Woo.
There we go. Now this one is just for you. In the Kalos games, we meet an ancient king named AZ who loves a special Pokemon. This Pokemon has a special name in-game that is similar to White Stripe Basculin or Primal Groudon. What is the name of this Pokemon?
Definitely have this one.
You got it. I love this Pokemon. It's
I can't
so
believe
good.
they've never let us have it because it's like in the game's coding and they never gave it to us.
I know. It's one of those things I'm like, but just let us have it. And like, that's the same in Generation 8. There were like, whenever they did the DLCs, Victini was there. And I remember that being a big thing. Everyone was like, where's Victini? It's in the coding. Where's that? When do you get it? And like, never did it show up.
Yeah, well, and I'm not gonna lie, like when I saw that Flabebe is in Scarlet and Violet, because you can see in the background of some of the trailers, like there's a small part of me that's like, all right, Spain, which is what Scarlet and Violet is based in, is right below France, which is where Kalos is. So maybe, just maybe, they'll let us have this Floette now.
I know, I want it so bad, so badly. Alrighty, so you think you did pretty good on those questions?
I think so, yeah. I feel like I'm going to talk myself up too much about them and then get them all wrong, but yeah.
There we go, 0 for 5. So just like the other episodes, you know, if you don't get them right, unfortunately, you do have to surrender your channel to a fan. But
that makes
I
sense,
believe in you.
That seems fair.
That checks out. Now we will move on to a segment called RKS News, where we cover the hot news topics in the Pokemon community.
Love that name.
Thank you. Big Silvally fan myself.
Oof, good choice. Good choice.
Alrighty, so the first piece of news is that Hisuian Snow has finally come to an end with the last episode being available on YouTube. Did you get a chance to watch that series at all, Lumios?
I did. I just wanted more of it.
That seems to be the case with those. Those spin-offs are always so good. Like Twilight Wings, the animation is so good. I love Twilight Wings so much.
Twilight Wings is, I mean, they could have done a whole anime off of it and not have been satisfied. I'm praying they do something like that for Scarlet and Violet.
I know. The Twilight Wings was just done so well. The characters were so good. The animation was amazing. I love everything about Twilight Wings. Like, oh, so good.
I literally have chills right now just thinking about Twilight Wings.
It's those Leon battles in Twilight Wings. They are animated so well. I love them so much.
Yes, the Dragapult with the like showing its missiles like locking on to the Pokemon. Oh,
I know that every time I think about Dragapult, I'm like, its Dragon Darts in Twilight Wings was so good.
Yes. So good.
But yeah, speaking of spin-offs, Poketoons are finally coming available in America on Pokemon TV. These are just so good to me. I love them. They're all around so fun and peaceful and great. Have you ever seen any of the Poketoons when they were in Japanese?
I know that I've seen the Scraggy and Mimikyu one, and I think I've seen others. I definitely haven't seen any recent ones.
Yeah, the Scraggy Mimikyu one is classic. It's got that old style cartoon feel to it, and it's just so good. It's just Cuphead is like, it's got that whole vibe to it. I love it.
Yeah, that was really neat. I love that they went that route, and that's something that I think is beautiful about that, and the side series like Hisuian Snow and stuff. It's just a way for Pokemon to explore these genres that we're not getting from the games or from the anime.
No, absolutely. And I remember in this and in the Poketunes, they also had one with like this girl getting a Nidoran, and like the Nido parents, Nido Queen, Nido King, giving that Pokemon up to her, and there's an old Charizard in it, and the whole animation is just so good and wholesome.
Yes, I definitely saw that one. It's hard for me to remember which ones are Poketunes and which ones are like something else with all the
Well,
generations and stuff that they've done, evolutions, all that.
yeah, absolutely. Well, lucky for you, it's coming to America, and the first episode's already out there. So if you have Pokemon TV, I use it on my phone and computer and smart TV. If you have that, then you can definitely tune in and give them a watch through because they're fantastic.
Hashtag ad, yes, sir.
There we go. Pokemon Company, if you just want to sponsor my podcast, I'm not going to turn you down.
Definitely. And if you want to hire me to help make the games and make new Pokemon, that'd be cool too.
Just simple asks. That's all we're asking for.
Yep. You don't have to pay me. You don't have to pay me. I'll just make Pokemon.
Yeah, I'll do it for free, please. Alrighty, in gaming news, Pokemon Snap 64 is available on the Switch as of June 24th. You think you're going to get that?
Well, I don't know. If they, at the moment, have the expansion pack, I think is what it's called, the like premium online version.
Yeah.
But if rumors about the GBA games and the Game Boy games end up coming onto it, it's true, I'll eventually have to get it. But right now I have a Wii plugged up to my bedroom television, and I have like a Nintendo 64 controller you can plug into the Wii remote, and I have Snap on it. So I have been using that.
Man, you have the workaround. You know the way around it. You don't even need this on the Switch.
It's only by luck. It's only by luck that I have that.
Yeah, I really hope that they bring in the Game Boy games. I want Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald to be on the Switch so bad. Mm-hmm. Give me it on Virtual Console, please. Mm-hmm. I'm begging you.
And like, if they could let us connect them to home, oh man, that would be a dream come true. Much better than buying them off of like eBay for $500 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there'll be like 10 on there, like the yellow and red and blue and gold and silver. All them were on the 3DS.
Right. Those are good. You go to GameStop or eBay for like Pokemon Platinum or Black and White though, and you're going to be paying a pretty penny.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that I keep all mine. Like I kept all my games, so I have at least one from each generation.
I had the same thing, but my Pokemon White version had, I don't know what happened now when I put it in a 3DS. It's been like this for a little over a year. It'll when I pull it up, it'll be like, can't find the game data, and I looked it up, and it's apparently a very common thing that happened with the Pokemon Black and White game specifically.
Oh man, that really sucks. Your Pokemon game got Pokerus.
It does, yeah. It got Pokerus, and I'm not feeling lucky like I do when I get in the games.
Yeah, with none of the benefits. Only the benefit. So did you get to play the new Pokemon Snap at all? I love that game. I thought it was so good.
Oh my gosh. I think that definitely could have been a little bit more of that, and that could have been my favorite Pokemon game, like mainline, side series, whatever. I adored that game.
I'm glad we're in the same boat on that, because I loved it. Like, I played through it, I kept like calling my significant other into the room. I was like, you gotta watch this. Like, you gotta look at these animations. Look what the Steelix does. The Steelix is crazy. Look at this Volcarona flying around. I found Lugia. Like, I was just so excited every time I did anything in that game.
Oh yeah, and I mean, just the interactions of the Pokemon with their environment and with their like other Pokemon and stuff. It was just insane. Like the Pidgeot swooping down and grabbing the Magikarp and stuff. Just that was wild. I loved it. It felt like a Pokemon safari, and that's kind of something that I think we all wanted, whether we knew we did or not.
A Pokemon safari zone, if you will.
Yes, which they also need to bring back, please.
Yeah, bring that back. I will take it, please. I would love a safari zone.
Absolutely.
I saw an interesting thing about the safari zone the other day, actually, because someone, I can't remember if it was on Reddit or Twitter or something like that, but either way, someone was complaining. They were like, why was this Pokemon in the safari zone? And it was Execute. And it was, so they're like, there's not rare. It's just dumb. There's no point in it being in the safari zone. And the top comment on it said, oh, well, it's in the safari zone because they're not from Kanto. Like, it's an Alola Pokemon, and it's, it's not from Kanto, so it lives in the safari zone because it's rare and not originally from here. And my mind was blown. I was like, that's a good point.
Yeah, you just blew my mind. I always assumed it was in there because it's like tropical and like a tropical safari, and I just kind of thought it looked well in there, but that's a crazy way to look at it. I adore that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, you've blown my mind. This is my new headcanon now. I love this.
Yeah, that, and have you heard like the one about, it's heavily speculated that Kangaskhan is related to the Cubone line. And so Kangaskhan is in the Safari Zone because it's a protected species and is hunted by poachers.
I love that. I've heard that before, but I absolutely love it. I like
Yep.
the idea that Kangaskhan and Cubone are related. I really enjoy the Kangaskhan line, so big fan.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love that too. And it's weird. It's always in games placed like near it in the decks, and even in some places like in Alola, you find obviously Cubone at Well of Volcano, where because it evolves into a fire type Marowak, but you also find Kangaskhan there. And the only reason that it makes sense for Kangaskhan to be there is because it's related to Cubone. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense because it's a kangaroo. What's it doing at a volcano?
It's one of those things. It's like the Pokemon Company is like, wink. We know what you guys
Yes.
think. It's okay.
Yes. Now, if they could do that by giving us Gorochu, the Scrap to Raichu evolution for Palmy, I will be 100% in love.
I want that so bad. And the day before this podcast comes out, there will be a video up on my YouTube channel all about why Palmy will evolve, explained by science, and what I think it'll evolve into. And Gorochu, definitely one of the possibilities.
Awesome. I'm very much looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, I love Gorochu. I'm like, how have we not brought this back for a Pikachu clone yet? Even if it was a one-off Pikachu clone, like it doesn't even have to evolve. Just be like, it's a different name, but this is Gorochu.
Or even like a split evolution or a regional evolution or something. It's absolutely wild. We haven't seen that.
I would love it. I'm like, it's Pikachu. You can give it as many regional forms as you want. If Meowth can have two, then it can have two.
Yeah, I mean, you've given it like 2 exclusive Z moves, and you've given it a G-Max form. What's wrong with giving it a regional evolution or a split evolution?
I am all in. We are in full agreement on that one.
Yep. So once again, we'll be waiting to hear from you, the Pokemon Company. This is now your move. Our emails, you have them. Get in touch.
Yeah. Reach out to me. You can hit me up on the email attached to this podcast. We're spitting great ideas.
Definitely.
Alrighty, and to wrap it up, in the TCG world, Lost Origin has been announced for release on September 9th, and it features tons of cool Hisuian cards and Giratina itself. I'm super hyped to pick up some boxes of this. I don't know if you collect LumiosePost, but I
do. Too much.
Yeah. Have you? So you've been collecting here recently still, or?
Oh, yes. We got into it, my wife and I. She's probably a little more so of a collector than I am, but we both collected throughout our childhood, and we especially got into it with Shining Fates. And we've got, behind me right now is about a house worth of just Pokemon cards. We need to honestly sell our bulk or something. It's wild how much we have. I probably spend way more than I should on Pokemon cards. That's my guilty pleasure.
Absolutely. I love it. Right in front of me, I have several cards that are important to me. I've got like a fossil Moltres from the fossil packs back in the day. I've got a Glaceon V from which one was that from? I can't remember now at this point. It's been a minute, but the one that came out.
They all run together for me at this point.
Yeah. It's like a year and a half ago that one came out, but it's like sleeping on a little bench covered in snow. It's just so cute.
Oh, is that Evolving Skies?
Evolving Skies, yeah, that's what it was. Yes, thank you. I was like, which one was it? I'm blanking right now because like every time a new set comes out, I get a box. But
yeah, my wife is a big Eevee fan. That's her favorite Pokemon, and so she has been trying to get like all the Evolving Skies Eevee cards, but instead, I guess Arceus had other plans for us because we have only pulled the same Umbreon V card about 7 times. So
man, that is really rough.
It is.
But no, I also keep Totodile is my favorite starter, so I have several Totodile cards as well as a Totodile blanket, and I have a custom Pokemon card with me and my dream team with fake made up moves. It's a card that I love a lot.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I need to get one of those.
Yeah, I keep it just around the other ones just to be like, that's me. That's SB.
Yeah, I'm basic. My favorite ones are probably the G-Max Pikachu or V-Max Pikachu is what's called in TCG from Vivid Voltage, and then the shiny Charizard V-Max from Shining Fates. Those are probably my favorite that I have.
Now, Rainbow Chonky Chew, or just regular Pikachu VMAX from there?
It is regular. I'm
Okay.
afraid it's not Rainbow Chonk but it is Chonk. And I love Chonk. I adored that they made it to Gmax like a callback to its regular design.
I know, right? I'm like, Chunky Pikachu for the win. Thank you. Now bring back Gorochu.
Yes, I mean, look, they brought back the original Pikachu. Maybe Scarlet and Violet. Maybe. Fingers crossed.
All right. I would be all in. There's so much to talk about with Scarlet and Violet. So let's kind of get into the nitty gritty with the questions that we have prepared for you today. You ready?
Oh, yeah. Very excited.
So something you kind of already teased it on this show earlier, but with your name being LumiosePost, would you put Kalos at your top, your favorite region, best region for you?
Yes, it definitely is. What's funny is my favorite Pokemon is Lucario, so it's actually not from Kalos, but it got a lot of love in Kalos. And for me, just whether or not you like X and Y, I don't think it's an opinion. I think it's a fact that Kalos is the most beautiful region. And the music from those games, like Professor Sycamore's theme and the music that plays on Brunway, I mean, it could literally move me to tears.
Yeah, Lucario definitely did get a lot of attention, which I was totally fine with in Kalos. So speaking of favorite regions, what's your opinion on Gen 2? Do you like the Johto region at all?
I do. I love the Johto region. I mean, I think I love them all, except Kanto I probably just like. But I do love the Johto region. I think what was missing from Kanto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh for me is that they didn't feel super Japanese. Hisui did, ancient Sinnoh. But Johto felt very Japanese. And I love for a region to feel very much like the place it's inspired by, like how Kalos feels very French or Galar felt very British. And Johto to me felt very Japanese, and I adored that.
Yeah, I think that's a very important part whenever they're taking in consideration these, like what they're basing it on, like to really get into the culture. Because like I'm someone who enjoys world cultures. So I like things like that. So being able to feel the culture in these regions is very important.
Yes, definitely. I 100% agree. Before starting Pokemon, I actually had a small travel blog. So I'm a huge fan of travel, huge fan of cultures and different countries and all. And I love to see it. I think, honestly, my love for travel came from my love from exploring regions as a kid in Pokemon.
Absolutely. And as someone that thinks Kalos is the best region and really likes Johto, how does it feel to have superior taste to everyone else and know that you're better than everyone else on the planet? Because it's something that I suffer from as well, with Kalos being my favorite region and really liking Johto. So I struggle with it. I'm just curious how you deal with it.
Well, I mean, sometimes it can go to my head, but mostly I just feel sorry for the people who genuinely think that those are bad regions. And I mean, I'm choking up. My heart breaks for people who actually think they're bad regions.
Completely agree. And, just know if you're listening out there and your favorite regions aren't Kalos and Johto, it's okay. You're wrong. We can help you through this. Just reach out to either one of us and we'll correct you down the right path.
Yep. Beautiful thing about America, if you're from America, is that you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
There we go. Yeah. And not liking Kalos is a bad opinion.
Yes, it is.
So I don't know this answer to this, but what is your first region that you've played? Were you a Kanto baby, or did you start in Hoenn?
I was a Kanto baby, but not a true Kanto baby. I got into Pokemon in second grade, so it was 2008 for me, and it started with at Burger King. I guess it was like promotion for Diamond and Pearl. They were releasing, like with kids meals or whatever, cards of Pokemon and like a little card case to put them in, like this box that flipped open. And I got Holo Lucario card and I thought he looked so cool and fell in love with it, started getting into the anime. And then one day my friend's older brother told me like, hey, you like Pokemon? And I was like, yeah. And he, was like, okay, well, I have these games. And he laid down Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby, and Sapphire. And he was like, pick one, it's yours. And I picked Fire Red. And he said, I've got your first Pokemon for you right here. And he pulled up his Leaf Green game and caught me a Pikachu to trade me when I got on my Fire Red game. And I mean, I say I like Kanto, but it does hold a very special place to my heart. My first region was Kanto and Fire Red.
Yeah, I love that. And like, that's the thing with Kanto, like nostalgia. Yes, I have all the nostalgia for Kanto, but as a region, because of the way the games have developed, like it's kind of lackluster.
Right.
And like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee could have fixed that, but they were instead like Pokemon Go on a Switch.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a little sad. I wish they'd do a little more with Kanto. I look forward to one day hopefully getting like a Legends Kanto game and having something that kind of reignites Kanto and reinvents it and really captures my interest for it again. I feel like they were, because obviously the games were made and were released in 1996. So like most games, every route is kind of the same. Every city is kind of the same, but they never really improved on that. Like they kind of stayed the same in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and they stayed the same in Let's Go. There's not many differences. So I hope that one day they do something for Kanto, because I mean, it started the franchise. It does deserve it.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. And hopefully we get something new, but I totally get the Kanto nostalgic trip. As someone who traded don't yell at me, it was not a first edition Charizard, but as someone who, as a kid, traded a card on the bus to a kid for his Pokemon Yellow game, Kanto does hold a special place in my heart too.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's, for a kid, that's not a bad trade.
No, as a kid, it was absolutely an amazing trade. I played a lot of Pokemon Yellow, and his parents called, and he had to tell me over the phone that it was my game now because he made a dumb decision. And I was like, all right, thanks. Bye. I'm going to go play the game.
Was that your first region?
Yep. So my first ever Pokemon game was Blue, but okay. I got Yellow after that and played a bunch of it because I was like, I'm Ash Ketchum.
Yes. We all should have done that as kids. I did that as a kid. It seems you did that as a kid. That was the right way to play Pokemon as a kid.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, at some point or another, you were absolutely named yourself Red or Ash playing a game, and you were like, "That's me."
Yes. My Fire Red name was Ash in all caps because back then you had to put in the extra effort to get the rest of your name lowercase.
I know I have some Pokemon that I keep all caps nicknamed from back in the day because I'm like, well, I don't want to change it because now it's just funny to me that I was like, all caps. I don't know how to change it.
Yes.
Alrighty, so we heard that Lucario was your favorite Pokemon, correct?
Yes, it is. It rotates often, but it's Lucario right now.
But
he's always a front runner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You definitely got to keep him up there. Lucario is a beast, and the Pokemon Company knew what they were doing when they designed that Pokemon.
Absolutely.
So what would you say is your favorite starter Pokemon?
Favorite starter is, man, I'm one of those lame people that could probably name like 8 of them right now. But
go ahead.
I think that objectively speaking, I want it to be Greninja, and I do genuinely adore Greninja. But people talk about their first love, and people talk about their first like big vacation, and my first was Charizard, so I have to say Charizard. I adore him with all my heart. I know that he gets way too much love from Game Freak, but he's still my baby. So
no, definitely he's my favorite fire starter. For the listeners at home that don't know, anything that I love dragons, love the dragon type, flying, water are my big 3 types. But anytime anything, how to train a dragon, Pokemon, dragon, any kind of dragon, you put a dragon on it, I'm going to love it. Charizard looks like a dragon. Mm-hmm. So child me was like, look at that guy. And then it's so the favorite fire starter for sure.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think I would have picked Squirtle because I was obsessed with turtles when I was younger. I had a pet turtle and then another pet turtle. I love turtles, but I picked Fire Red. And so I thought that you had to pick Charmander.
Yeah, like it made a big difference. Yeah.
Like I thought that it would be a thing of like if I picked Charmander and like beat the league. I mean, I'm 7 or 8 at the time, and I thought that if I picked Charmander and made my way through the league, it would like right at the end be like, or if I didn't pick Charmander, it'd be like, you didn't pick Charmander, so you didn't beat the game. It's like, oh well.
Oops, too bad.
Yeah. But so I picked Charmander and I adored him. I definitely do not regret that decision. Love Squirtle and Bulbasaur too, but Charmander, like I said, first love.
Definitely. And we're talking a lot of Kanto here, so I'm going to, while I was researching for your trivia questions, I'm going to share with you a little factoid I learned today. Maybe you do or don't know this.
Okay, shoot.
So you know how in Japan they had red and green, correct?
Yeah.
And then here in America it was red and blue.
Yeah.
Do you know why that was the case? I just learned this.
I feel like I've heard it, but I definitely don't remember, and I may have heard wrong.
They thought that because of the American flag and how much Americans love the flag, that red and blue would do better because red, white, and blue. So they took green out and made it red and blue. I didn't know that until today. And I was like, what?
I think that is the most American thing I've ever heard, that they assume, well, they're going to like it if it's American colors.
Yeah, right. Red and green, they don't like Christmas.
Oh,
Red and
yeah.
blue, they love the flag.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the reason that they, in the anime, had replaced Brock with Tracy, was they, like, assumed, like, Brock might be too Asian. We need, like, a classic khakis or shorts wearing American guy. That's the only way we'll get people's attention. But instead, people are like, what did you do with Brock? Bring him back.
Yeah, as someone who will defend Tracy until the day I die, I really like Tracy Sketchit. He was a great character. He should come back way more often than he does. Brock is perfection and amazing.
Agreed.
And anytime he comes back, people love him. So me included.
Agreed. Yes, I definitely agree. Tracy's a great character. And, you know, I wish that he'd appear whenever Ash visits Oak's lab or whatever. But nobody can outdo the Brockster.
The original, the old Brocco. I love it whenever people put those clips together. Ash saying Brocco. Hey, Brocco.
Yes. I mean, has any of his other companions ever been smart enough to use their frying pan as a drying pan? No.
No, it's
Brock's
never.
the best.
He taught me what extreme speed meant with Arcanine.
Yes.
That's when Pokemon speed goes to the extreme.
Yeah, and then there's moments like his water types are totally weak to fire types.
This is a Brock fan cast now. So if you thought anything else, Loafing Around has now become Drying Pan, the Brock fan podcast.
Yes. All right. Look, in all seriousness, we gotta get that started.
I know. Hey, I'll start it. I don't care. Let's get some. Let's cook up some jelly donuts and start praising Brock.
Jelly donuts, but disguised as rice balls, of course.
Americans don't know what that is. Can't say that.
Yeah. What's a rice ball?
What's rice?
I love that too, because like a rice ball, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a ball of rice, but no, we're too stupid, us Americans. We wouldn't figure that out.
Yeah, this is jelly donut.
We gotta put a crusty JPEG image of a sandwich instead.
Yeah, and you're a kid too, so you're like, I've never had a jelly donut like that before. Where's that from?
Yes.
Like, where do you get jelly donuts like this?
I distinctly remember as a kid seeing that episode and going, I don't think that's a jelly donut. You know, I wasn't smart enough to know, like, oh, this is a dubbed version of an anime that had original lines that have been dubbed over. Yeah. Instead, I just thought, I think someone got that wrong. That's not a jelly donut. I don't know what it is, but it's not a jelly donut.
Yeah. Alrighty, so your channel right now definitely has a lot of focus on Gen 9 and Scarlet and Violet.
For sure, yep.
So how did you like the new trailer? What was your opinion on that? Did you enjoy it?
Oof. Well, okay, so I feel like it's easy to get blasted for my opinion on the recent trailer. I loved the contents of the recent trailer. I loved Palmy, Lechonk, Smoliv. I know you yourself are a big Palmy fan. Woo-hoo. And I mean, it's a great design. It's a really good design. I love the legendaries. The multiplayer thing was really cool. My wife is a big Pokemon fan as well, so it's cool that like we're actually going to get to play Pokemon together. And
not like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Right. But I wish the trailer had been a bit more hype. Like I remember the second Sword and Shield trailer, you know, had that music, Here Comes a Brand New World playing, and it was just, regardless of what they showed, you were sitting there like just bouncing in your seat. Like you were so on fire for it. And this one just didn't capture that for me. It didn't capture that same energy and excitement that the second Sword and Shield trailer had. In my opinion, the first Scarlet and Violet trailer got me more hyped about Scarlet and Violet than the second one did. So in my opinion, we're still due our true second trailer. Legends Arceus, their second trailer, I feel like did a great job of that too. Like the scene where the trainer runs off the cliff and then the Braviary picks it up and the music like picks up. I mean, we didn't get that in this trailer, and I really wish we had.
I love that Braviary bit. I use that in my videos all the time. Like anytime I talk about Legends Arceus, I'm like, and the Braviary, the jumping off the cliff scene.
Yes. Well, so I have a 2-year-old brother, and at the time that trailer was released, he's 1 year old. He's a 1-year-old. And so whenever I'd be watching that trailer, because obviously when a new Pokemon trailer comes out, you watch it at least 17 times a day.
The
and
only way.
the only way. And every time I got to that scene where the music happened, he would get up and run to go look at whatever I was watching. And that's what I'm saying is if a trailer, just its music can capture the attention of 1-year-old, make him look away from puppy dog pals and instead watch this thing on a phone, it's a good trailer. It's objectively a good trailer.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I completely agree that we could have had a bit more hype with the music and everything, but the contents of this trailer, so excited.
Very good. Very good. I mean, I do also wish we had gotten our region name and our map. I'm sick of in all my videos having to say the Scarlet and Violet region, like that's its actual name.
I want the region name so bad. I really thought we were going to get it in that trailer. That for the people that watched my trailer analysis on that, that was the only complaint I had. I was like, I just want the region name, please. That's the only thing I could say. Just give me the region name, and this is a fine trailer.
Yes, I mean and it's crazy because in Sword and Shield we had it when Sword and Shield was revealed. They revealed the map. We're like, this is the Galar region, and that was that. But this one, I believe this is the longest we've gone, with the exception of Legends Arceus, without knowing the name of the region. And I guess Legends Arceus, I think, is kind of a little bit special because while we didn't know the name of the region, we knew it was Ancient Sinnoh. So we kind of got an idea that like Mount Coronet will play a big role. We'll probably see some environments very similar to the Sinnoh we know of. But this is the longest I believe we've ever gone without knowing the region name other than Legends.
Yeah, and Legends Arceus is definitely special because, like, I mean, we were all fine just being like, it's Sinnoh. Like, it's still just Sinnoh. Like, this is a new region. We want to know the new region's name. There, we're like, it's Sinnoh. Like, we'll call it Sinnoh.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, too, Legends was a different case because, we learned the region name later, but we learned it in August. And the reason they did that second trailer in August was because they normally do it in June, but they pushed it 2 months back. Because Legends Arceus' release date was pushed 2 months past the usual. Usually we get in November. It came out in January.
Yeah, absolutely. That does make a big difference too.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I want to clarify, the contents of that trailer were phenomenal. But I also kind of feel like they did it an injustice by not having that hype music. Because think about like the Corviknight reveal and that second Sword and Shield trailer. It made Corviknight even cooler than Corviknight already is. So I wish they had done that for these really adorable and really cool designs like Palmy and Smoliv and Lechonk.
Corviknight's such a good Pokemon. I love it so much. I wish we could get an evolution of one of those three, but I mean, I get it. They gave us 5 Pokemon, but I wish we could see an evolution so bad.
Yeah, well, I think that was another thing that took people off guard is, and I kind of prepped for this when we saw it wasn't going to be a presents, but just a trailer drop. But it seemed like there was less revealed than the Sword and Shield second trailer. I mean, the Sword and Shield second trailer, not only did we already know the region name and map, but we got the gimmick, we got the rival, we got the professor, the champion, and we had 7 total Pokemon, including the legendaries revealed, and the first gym leader. Well, this one, we got the professors, a rival, 3 new Pokemon, and then the 2 legendaries, so a total of 5. And we kind of got gyms teased, or at least something similar to it teased, but nothing officially revealed in that front. So that was just a little upsetting.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely was. So I could definitely see where, it leaves you wanting more. Speaking of that, though, there's a lot of talk that maybe we'll be getting a trailer in the next week or 2. What's your opinion on that? What do you think?
I feel like I'm going to say this, and your listeners are going to hear this and then blast me when it doesn't happen, but I would nearly put my life on something this coming Wednesday. So the 29th of June is the date. I would nearly stake my life on that. I mean, it seems pretty set in stone. There's a lot of moving parts, like we had discussed. I follow a lot of the rumors and leaks and all that kind of territory. And there's been a lot of pretty big sources seemingly doubling down on a Nintendo Direct on the 29th. Not only that, but Nintendo has been really promoting the Scarlet and Violet games, and we see the official Nintendo account and the official Pokemon account interacting a lot about Scarlet and Violet, and more so than they normally do, which seems to imply potentially a Pokemon reveal or spotlight in the Nintendo Direct, which isn't unheard of. We've had that in the past. But the big thing is if you go to the Pokemon channel, you will see that every week they have been doing a visit this region. And they started with Kanto, and just yesterday they dropped Visit Galar, which means next week is whatever Gen 9 is. And the last time they did a visit this, visit that thing, it did end with the presents that revealed Sword and Shield, which is important because not only did it reveal Sword and Shield, but it revealed the region name and the map.
There we go. Then that's what I hear. I hear a lot of people, throwing out the 29th, thinking that something's coming. So there you guys go. He's putting his life on it. So I tend to believe him.
I definitely think it. I really, really do. I know that there are some people, like I've talked privately with Soul Silver Art, who's a little more skeptical of if there'll be a Nintendo Direct on the 29th. He doesn't outright disbelieve it, but he's not staking as much on it as I would. But even he seems to think that if there isn't a Nintendo Direct, there's something Pokemon.
Well, you love to hear it. I am super excited, and I really do hope that there is something Pokemon related in there.
Definitely. And Soul Silver Art, if you're listening, I apologize that I just dragged you under the bus with me too.
And if you are listening, Soul Silver Art, hey, what up? Hit me up on Twitter. You seem like a cool guy. Very
he
good.
Is very friendly guy. Very friendly guy. Genuinely, probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. Genuinely, very friendly guy. And he handles mean comments because you're a YouTuber. You know how it is.
Mean comments? What? When?
Yeah, on the internet. But he handles it with such grace. I was literally telling him this morning, I've never seen someone handle it with as much grace as he does. It challenges me not only as a internet user, but also as just a person in general. But I mean, yeah, you know how it is. You get, and I think the good news is that it's only a very small percentage of those comments, but you get the occasional troll and you get the occasional jerk, and you just gotta brush it off and keep going. And I think that's easier said than done, especially because, I mean, like we talked about, I only had 150 subscribers a couple months ago. I remember what it was like to be starting, and I remember, I can remember the exact number. I was at 73 subscribers, and I had my first mean comment, and it shattered my world, and you have to let it not get to you. Yeah, I mean, it was you leaving the mean comment. Okay, well, I'm logging off now. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely that's probably the biggest challenge of the YouTubing thing is, I mean, it's crazy how much don't let it hurt you, don't let it hurt you, but when it pops up, you're like, I'm hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's end this off on a more positive note. Do you have a favorite memory of the Pokemon franchise? And it can be anything: cards, anime, games. Someone told you their favorite Pokemon was Sigilyph, and you've been so shocked it stuck with you.
Yeah, I heard that in the last podcast. That was wild. I love that about the Pokemon community. You will have, I mean, everybody's Pokemon is someone's favorite. I love that. But probably the most fond memory I ever had was back in the black and white, black 2, white 2 days. So Gen 5, that was 2010 to 2013. I had 2 best friends, and we watched the anime and we played the games. And in the anime, in the Best Wishes or Black and White saga, there was these battle clubs that would host these tournaments. And so we were like, there's 3 of us. We should figure out how to do this. And we ended up kind of making like a local battle club. I mean, and we got a bunch of like kids from like school and stuff to get in on it. And we did tournaments, and we kind of made them where like tournaments you would get a badge for winning a tournament. Now, these badges were, cut out of paper because we're like 10 or 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And if you got enough of those badges, you could do a league that we then held. And it was an amazing league. And I made it to the final round of it, where I lost to a guy who was my absolute best friend and was like a brother to me. So it was really cool. It was kind of like that Ash moment, it very much felt like we talked about as a little kid, you are Ash, and that was my Ash moment. So that was neat.
Well, there you have it, folks. What a beautiful memory. And that is the beauty of the Pokemon franchise, is that there's so many different memories and so many different things that mean so much to people. And I love hearing all the people's different takes on those. So thank you very much for sharing.
You're very welcome. I love sharing that. I get the chills. I get the smile ear to ear. Love talking about that. What's yours? What is your fondest memory?
So my fondest memory actually is in regards to the movie. I know you're not a big movie guy, but when I was younger, I was in an accident, and I would have to be on the bed for an extended period of time. And to make that better, my mom surprised me on the way home with Pokemon Forever, which I had not seen yet, the Celebi movie, and I watched that movie so much until I was better. So that is not my favorite Pokemon movie, but it is my favorite memory. Is that my mom trying to cheer me up after my injury, and letting me watch nonstop Pokemon over and over and over again.
Oh,
So
I
that's
love
always
that.
stuck with me.
I love that. Yeah, no, for the record, I loved the movies through Sinnoh. And like a lot of them I still hold very dear to my heart. My favorite one is probably Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, because Lucario fan.
That's a lot of people's favorite, I feel like.
But I mean, I love it. I can't help it. That one or the Latios and Latios movie, just because.
Pokemon Heroes, so
Yes,
good.
yes, I had that on DVD and watched it. You know what you do as a kid? You pop it in, credits roll, you pop it out, then pop it back in, and you watch it again. But that one holds very dear to my heart. I love all those movies. Which one is your favorite?
See, this is such a tough question, but I would probably the first two are, goated. They are so good.
Yep.
They're fantastic movies. I do love them and have great memories with them. But I think my favorites are either Pokemon Heroes, which is the Latios and Latios one. I really like that one. Or Pokemon the movie 3, Spell of the Unknown. I love that movie too. Just so
that
good.
one is so good. I only got to see that last year. Last year was the first time I ever saw that movie.
I love that movie so much. I watched it so much as a kid, and anytime I go back and watch it, I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling a Pokemon movie. What about Pokemon the movie 3?
I wanted to watch that so bad as a kid, but it's funny, we didn't have the internet the way we do today. You couldn't just type it in and find it somewhere to rent. So I was never able to watch that movie. It was always rented by someone else at our local Blockbuster. Throwback for you. Or maybe some of you are too young to even know what that is. But I always wanted to see that movie. Last year, I finally did, and it definitely lived up to my anticipation of it. I absolutely adored it. That scene where he's falling and Charizard rescues him. Oh, man. Oh, that's so fire.
I love that movie so much. It's so good.
It is very good. If I was exposed to that as a kid, all of my favorite stuff is primarily based off of nostalgia. I'm sure you've gathered that by listening in, but
Pokemon thing.
If I had watched that movie as a kid, I'm sure that would be my favorite. It's probably objectively the best one.
Yeah, I love it so much.
My favorite one.
Alrighty, so let's wrap this up. Do you have any parting words, anything you want to promote or watch out for that's coming up in your content?
Well, like I said, there's probably a trailer coming up soon. I mean, to be honest, even if I am wrong about next week, they do it monthly at this point. So there's one around the corner either way. And when it happens, we will definitely be covering it, as well as doing a bunch of other stuff on our channel. That's a lot of fun. So check me out, please. LumiosePost on YouTube. I am also on Twitter, and I post on there, but my videos are on YouTube. So subscribe, like, all that stuff. So yeah.
Alrighty, definitely. So we'll finish this off with the trivia answers. You think you're ready?
I think I am. I'm nervous, but I think I am.
Alrighty. So here was question 1. In the Pokemon games, there is almost always someone to teach you how to catch a Pokemon. In one game, however, this capture tutor was also a champion. Which champion is that?
Was that Leon?
Correct, it is Leon.
Okay. Whew, there you go. A little nervous on that one.
Alrighty. Question 2. In the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games, we are introduced to Professor Birch. What is his research specialty?
He studies habitats or environments of Pokemon, habitats of Pokemon. I think they even say distribution or something.
He studies Pokemon habitats and Pokemon distributions, correct?
Okay.
There you go. You're killing it.
Okay, awesome. Woo.
Alrighty. In Generation 4, we are introduced to Champion Cynthia. What Pokemon does she use in her Pokemon Platinum Champion battle?
She uses her Lucario, her Roserade, Milotic, Spiritomb, her dreaded Garchomp, and she actually uses Togekiss. And Diamond and Pearl, she uses Gastrodon, but she switches it for Togekiss here.
Correct. That's the trick I was going for. I was like, oh, let's see if he says Gastrodon.
I can't be fooled that easy.
There you go. Alrighty. Also in Generation 4, we meet a very annoying trainer named Mindy. Why is her trade so famous?
Well, because, oh man, it hurts to even say it. When you trade her the Metacham that she so much desires, she promises you a Haunter. And you know in your mind that Haunter, when traded, evolves into a Gengar. This is your chance to get the thing you love. She's getting the thing she wanted, Metacham. So you're getting the thing you wanted, Gengar. But then when that Haunter gets to you, she laughs at you coldly as she reveals that the Haunter was holding an Everstone and thus cannot evolve.
This is sad and correct.
It's very sad.
It's tough for every trainer to go through, but we all had to learn that lesson as kids.
It is. I liked my Metacham.
I know Metacham is one of my top 10 favorite Pokemon, actually. So, like, back
It's
in the day,
underrated.
I was like, I'm not trading you this.
It's underrated for sure. It's underrated for sure.
Yeah, I love Metacham. Thank you, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, for my love of Metacham.
I've actually never played those games.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're on the Switch, so go get Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX, I think it's called, or GX. I think it's DX. Go get it.
I keep meaning to.
Your wife and you can play through it, and you will love it. I feel it.
Yeah, she's played through them and she loves them.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's not like a thing of I actively avoided them. It was just a thing of, when you're younger, you have your money from doing the dishes every day. So it's like, what, $5 a week? And you can really only afford the one Pokemon game that year. So
yeah, absolutely. I feel you. Alrighty, now for the last question. In the Kalos games, we meet King AZ. He has a special Pokemon with a special name. What is the name of that Pokemon?
that would be the Eternal Flower Floette.
That is correct. I will give you a bonus point if you can name its special move that never got released.
Its special move, I believe is it Light of Ruin?
Correct. Light of Ruin. Nice job.
Okay. I almost said Ruin of Light, but I was like, no, that makes no sense.
It is Light of Ruin. You are absolutely correct.
Okay. Awesome. 6 for 6. I mean, I'm just saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone else got 5 right. Yeah.
The first episode, Pokefurlax got 6 for 6 on his.
Okay, well, I'll take it. I'll take
yeah.
tied for first place. I'll take tied for first place.
Yeah, there you go. Alrighty, so we will end the podcast. I want to thank you again for being a guest on the show. Thank you so much, LumiosePost. Make sure everyone to go check out his YouTube and his Twitter. He's growing fast, and you want to get in now because this channel is going places for sure.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I super appreciate you being on. I also want to thank Jorge Benes for making an amazing theme for this podcast. And I want to thank all you listeners out there that made it this far. We will be back in 2 weeks, so make sure to follow the podcast and watch out for that episode. Until then, I will catch you next time when the adventure continues.